Good to be back here on EFE Live here on Talk Radio 102.3. As you know, I am Tennessee's conservative conscience and Tennessee's voice of reason, Chattanooga's conservative conscience. By the way, I have a special announcement. It's going to be coming up a week from this Friday, so it's going to be the 16th, May 16th, a Friday. I'm going to be broadcasting live from GT Distributors. That's right. It's going to be, they're having a big sale. So I'm going to be there, and Uncancelable with Dale Jackson will be broadcasting live from there as well.
Not both of you.
Yeah, both of us, yes.
Lord.
So from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., both of us will be out there broadcasting from GT Distributors in Rossville. I'm going to be telling you more about that in a moment. It's a really cool place, but we're going to be broadcasting
I can't
live.
go down there. My wife won't let me.
What, did you buy so much cool stuff?
Yeah. But, man, a former cop, I go in there, and I said, I buy a set of blue lights for the car and a couple of...
You don't want to come out and broadcast with us, Max?
I'd love to.
Oh, okay. And maybe we can work that out. I think people would want to meet you.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Like I said, you just want to buy a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah. It's a very... for years, all they sold was police equipment, law enforcement stuff. Mm-hmm. And now it's open to the public.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they
got a lot of
cool
cool stuff.
They got all the goodies for hunting and all those things.
And really, the coolest thing is that they have a room that's in Tennessee. So it's the part of the store is in Tennessee, and most of it's in Georgia. You can register in both states when you purchase something, which is amazing.
And you can go ahead and carry it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
So, check it out. We're going to be out there broadcasting live. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get to the news items. Once again, Max, we have those Tennessee bullet points.
The Tennessee Bullet Points, the top headlines from around the volunteer state.
Sponsored by the Tennessee Conservative. They're the volunteer state's largest conservative news source. Number 4 today, state prosecutors denounce Governor Bill Lee's veto of probation bill. This is as the Republican sponsor plans to override it in 2026. That's right, the Tennessee District Attorneys General Conference on Tuesday denounced Governor Bill Lee's decision to use his veto power for the first time to block legislation that would have allowed the Tennessee Board of Parole to deny early release or parole to convicted criminals based on the facts of each individual's case. Now, despite the legislation passing the Tennessee General Assembly with universal support from Republicans, Lee reportedly raised concerns that allowing the board to deny parole for those convicted of major crimes would undo Re-Entry Success Act, a criminal justice reform bill he signed in 2021. He said 2 years later, Tennessee achieved the lowest recidivism rate in state history, meaning fewer crimes and fewer victims, and I am confident that the Board of Parole and other safeguards ensure parole is awarded appropriately. But as I said, that association is not happy about it. It says to ignore the gravity and specific facts of an offender's crime when determining early release eligibility is not only irresponsible, it is dangerous. That's what the association said. So we'll see what happens there. Number 3 today, Wilson County School Board votes unanimously to exclude gender reassignment surgery in their employee health plan, which should be common sense, but there you go.
Duh.
One community member escorted the Wilson County Board of Education to not let the talk of threat of possible lawsuits sway their decision on whether to include gender reassignment surgery in the district's employee health plan on Monday night. What would the lawsuit be? You either force them to do that?
Is that not something that you choose to do?
Yeah, I guess.
Always, I'd like to have a facelift and a new one put on, but that's not something that I should have to,
Please don't get a facelift, Max, just so you know. I don't...
it's a waste of time at this point,
All right, following discussion, the board voted unanimously to continue to exclude such procedures. Now, WCS is self-insured, and as a result, the plan that is administered through Meriton Health on behalf of the district's 3,000 employees is required to comply with certain federal statutes, one being the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act. But some people are saying that trans surgery should be involved in that. But last year, the board voted to approve what Director of Schools Jeff Luttrell described as a Cadillac health plan, but now they're wanting to make sure this isn't a part of it. So it's good. I'm glad they rejected it.
That's elective surgery.
I agree. Number 2, defense requests mistrial already in the Tennessee political corruption case. That's right. The defense teams for a former House Speaker and former staffer requested a mistrial Tuesday in Tennessee's political corruption trial, claiming prejudicial evidence was introduced to the jury, even if inadvertently. Now, U.S. District Court Judge Eli Richardson is expected to rule on the request today. This is after defense attorneys for former aide Cothran and ex-House Speaker Casada made their arguments for a mistrial, claiming audio played Monday was supposed to be redacted. Now, Richardson sent the jury home earlier Tuesday before it could be seated. The audio tape portion that jurors weren't supposed to hear is when Casada told FBI agents who raided his Franklin home in January 2021 that Speaker Cameron Sexton didn't like Cothran and wouldn't have approved him as a constituent mail vendor if he knew Cothran was running Phoenix Solutions. So that trial continues. Very interesting stuff there. Federal prosecutors played a tape of the FBI's interview of Casada from 2021, in which he reversed course and said he knew Cothran was behind Phoenix Solutions before a federal agent told him it is against federal law to lie to the FBI. So there you go. That corruption trial is pretty crazy. And number one, yes, what we were talking about at the top of the show, Governor Bill Lee answers questions on Nashville ICE stops. That's right. Governor Bill Lee expressed his support for President Trump's efforts to combat illegal and criminal activity during a visit to Memphis. Now, the visit followed a public safety operation involving immigration and customs enforcement agents and Tennessee Highway Patrol troopers. Now, Lee stated that the state was aware of the ICE operation and would continue to assist in removing criminals from the streets. The operation involved traffic stops in areas with a history of serious traffic crashes and suspected gang activity. Now, Lee emphasized the importance of removing criminals from the country and referred questions about the individuals on the buses leaving the ICE facility to telling reporters to ask ICE officials. And as we talked about at the top of the show, the mayor of Nashville, Freddie O'Connell, is very upset about this for some reason. But Homeland Security responded and pointed out that some of the people arrested were members of Tren de Aragua. Others were already convicted of aggravated assault and drug charges and everything else.
Pure as a driven snow.
By the way, this brought to you by the Tennessee Conservative. If you want to find out more about that story, you can. TennesseeConservativeNews.com. That is the best place to go to catch up on the latest of all of that. TennesseeConservativeNews.com. You let them know Yaffe was the one who sent you. We'll be back on Yaffe Live.